So I want to talk to you about 3 college dropouts that traditionally in the modern world would not be successful, yet they were able to land their first job in tech and led to their first 6-figure salaries. So let's begin. All right, so case study number 1, Josh, my man Josh. Great beard. You see right here, I'm going, boop, Josh. And he started out as a college dropout, but he loved playing with computers. And when he sat down, he shared with me how he broke into the IT side. So the IT gateway, he started out as the IT help desk. And after interviewing multiple people in the IT space, the IT help desk, as well as doing what they called office grounds, where essentially you're setting up computers, you're setting up the phone lines, you're answering any help desk tickets. So anytime you have to pass a reset or you need to submit a ticket, it goes to this group of people in the IT space. And the great news about this is it's usually learn on the job, but you do kind of need a passion for doing this kind of playing with technology. But if you have that, you essentially can learn and build your career around that. And what he did was, after he learned the inner workings of technology, he was able to then parlay it and use that into securing the network. And that led to him ultimately working at NASA and then joining his first startup, which then got acquired by Cisco. So hats off to you, Josh. But the idea is college dropout, IT help desk is the gateway, and move into a career of his dreams. And now he loves it. He loves being a security researcher. And that's what he does for a living. And security, by the way, is a negative unemployment kind of business. Example number 2, we have Marissa. Marissa's a college dropout. She studied psychology and realized she didn't want to do it. And she moved out here to San Francisco. And her breakthrough was the recruiting coordinating gateway. So when I was working with her, she wanted to get into HR, but wasn't sure how, right? She didn't study the schooling. But one of the roles that she applied to, just like, whoa, sounds like we should have a phone interview. And that was for recruiting coordinating. And essentially what recruiting coordinating is you set up meetings between a hiring manager and the interviewee and the recruiter who's ultimately reaching out and trying to hire talent, and making sure that that interviewee makes it to that interview and that hiring manager makes it to that interview, and making sure that they walk out of the office and the feedback is then sent to the coordinated to the parties. And it's a pretty simple job. You're just essentially a glorified meeting setter. But being in that business, she was able to see how sourcers work, which is the people who go out and find these talent and ask them for a phone call and ask them to come on site. And then she learned that there's the other side of business where you have to work with a hiring manager and figure out what are their needs, and how do you get them to help you understand what is it that they need, right? So then she just basically learned the recruiting side of the business and realized, wow, this is a career I want to go to. And that led her to going to Facebook as a technical sourcer, and now Slack, which is her first startup. And it's been crazy, right? To see her go from she used to work at Hollister, to give you an example, like we're going from a Hollister, college dropout, now works at Facebook, number 1 company to work for, according to Glassdoor.com, right? And then we have Jim. Jim is another college dropout. So this is the college dropout example. If they can do it, you can do it, right? Jim wasn't sure what he wanted to do, but he knew that he liked to help people, right? So he actually couldn't get an interview for his job. The resume was lost in the hiring manager pile. And it never, so he actually found the guy on the Yellow Book. I don't know if you guys remember that is, but it's the phone book, and called him and was like, why haven't you returned my application, or at least give me a no? And he was like, I don't know what you're talking about. So he actually went back to HR, got clarity as to how the resume missed. He was like, where's Jim's resume? And he got the resume. He's like, you're hired. Right? So he actually had to hunt down the hiring manager to land his first customer support job, and the rest is history. He went out and did multiple different things. So he went to do customer success. He became an engineer, actually learned how to code. He went back to customer support, joined his first tech startup, and then got promoted to become a manager, and then going back to customer success. And that tech company, Okta, went IPO. in 2017, which means initial public offering, which means his equity in the company are now listed on the New York Stock Exchange. So if you go to New York Stock Exchange and type in OKTA, Okta, you're gonna find that. And that was huge for everyone part of the company. And he, by the way, he was an employee. He started out one of the most humble jobs. Customer support is one of the most humble jobs, yet it's most needed. And he crushed it. He's one of my favorite coworkers there. So those are 3 case studies where people who traditionally would not have been successful, but had the desire to be successful, and they took action in finding their gateway job into their first 6-figure career and into their first equity exit. And they're happy. The crazy thing is, after interviewing all these people, every one of them that I met were so fulfilled in their careers. They just they enjoyed what they were doing and the impact that they were making, and they enjoyed growing in their field. They enjoyed getting mentored. They enjoyed learning from the whole process, and that's why I think this book is so special. Is because, you know, we were traditionally taught you needed to go and run your own business, right, to be super successful and fulfilled. In reality, in the gateway world, when you're in a disruptive world, being part of the disruption has been fantastic for your growth, learning, mentorship, and that's why I'm super excited to share this with you, because I believe that anyone who has the desire can land their first gateway job, and it may only require 1 or 2 skills that needs to be built up in the process. But if you can do that, you can go to 6 figures in your first year. It is possible. I've done it myself. And I've seen many other people do it too. So, but it requires work. It requires, I'm not gonna say it's easy. It requires you to become that person that you want to ultimately become. And that requires growing. It requires understanding that, it requires humility, but it requires the desire to grow and take action. And if you can do that and show that, the rest, your life will change. It may not be the end all be all. Like the cool thing is, this is just a stepping stone. This is not, you know, if you want to create a business, great, right? Or if you want to do something else, fantastic. This is just a stepping stone to get to where you ultimately want to be. And a lot of times when you're starting out, the first step is just increasing your peer group. Increasing, like when you go into tech, it's like, wow, these are really smart people and I can learn a lot from them, and I'm getting paid to learn, and I get new mentors. Like, it's exciting. But it may not be for everybody. But what I've seen personally is, if you keep advancing in your career, it becomes a really fulfilling place to be, because you really are making a difference in the world. And your software or your technology is impacting others. And that's what I found personally is I have a chance to help other people and get paid fairly well to do so. So this is why I'm excited to share with you breaking into your Silicon Valley. And pretty soon it's going to be launched. So I hope you're excited, and you should get an email pretty shortly about the details of how to get the book and how to share with others. So I hope this has been helpful.